Hey everybody, welcome to or back to my channel, My Kind of Stuff, and today is another 48-hour reading challenge. So if you missed it last month, I did a mini 48-hour readathon trying to beat my TBR game within one weekend. And I'm going to be doing that again this weekend, but with a little twist. I will be joined by Jenny from over at the Haphazard Book Nook, so I will make sure to link her channel down below. Make sure you keep an eye out for her video as well. And that being said, let's hop right into the first roll. All right, roll one. Ooh, a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An O prompt. A book with a weapon on the cover. All right, so our first roll, we rolled a 5. That landed us on an O prompt, and the prompt is a book with a weapon on the cover. All right, so for this prompt, I am going to be reading Dating and Dismemberment. The weapon being this like whip that she has in her hand. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there, I swear. I don't know a ton about this one. I know that it has like a camp setting and it is a monster romance, I believe. Darla is dead and she haunts the woods around this summer camp, scaring kids, but she kind of takes a step back because she's tired of doing it and just kind of is lazing around and reading romance novels and like just hanging out with her mom, who I believe is like a severed head or something. But then our male main character comes to town and he kind of starts taking over her hunting ground or haunting ground. And they sort of start competing to see who the scariest monster is and end up falling for each other. This sounds absolutely adorable, and I cannot wait to start reading it. So I, have a long way to go in this readathon. This is only book 1, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I will check back in with you guys when I have finished and it's time to make our next roll. All right, guys, I just wanted to give an update. It is now about 9 o'clock. I started around 4:30, but I just finished Dating and Dismemberment. Think this one I'm only going to give 3 stars. It was a little different than I thought it was going to be. Like, I knew it was a monster romance, but in my mind it was, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I thought. It definitely had some fun, silly, goofy parts because her mom is a severed head. There were a lot of jokes about that, and like there was definitely a lot of humor in here. The way they described certain things because they are monsters was kind of funny. Like she has multiple stomachs, so every time she was hungry, it was about like filling her stomachs, and they were kind of like eating like animals until he came around and was like teaching her how to cook, and it was sort of cute. However, like the whole point of this was that it was a monster romance, and the romance part fell a little flat for me. I didn't really feel it. We got told it. Um, we got, I guess, shown it in certain ways, but I never really like felt it in the story. So that's where it fell a little flat for me. Like I wanted a romance, and I got satire and humor, and barely any real romantic feelings or like heartwarming moments through the whole thing. So 3 stars for me. It was fine. I'm not mad that I read it, but it's definitely not the favorite that I really thought it was going to be. So that being said, let's get into our next roll. All right, roll 2. A 2. 1, 2. X prompt. A book under 300 pages. All right, our next roll was a 2. Just eked by that kiss of death space, but we got an X prompt, and the prompt is a book under 300 pages. I barely got any sleep last night because of some crazy stuff happening around our neighborhood and trick-or-treating and like all kinds of stuff was going down. So I think I'm going to go to bed early tonight and I will pick my next read in the morning because I'm kind of like teetering between a couple books right now. I want to read the next Ice Planet Barbarian book, but I also kind of want to read the new Chuck Palahniuk book, Shock Induction. Um, so I haven't fully decided what I'm gonna do, but I will let you guys know tomorrow and give you an update on what I think of whatever I pick. All right, guys, it is really early in the morning still. I woke up around 5 and just kind of laid around in bed and read Shock Induction by Chuck Palahniuk. He is my all-time favorite author, but his books are very dark, very satirical. They are definitely not for everybody, but I think that they really make you take a deeper look at society and people. And I really like the overarching themes of most of his books. Um, this is one of his newer ones, and I was really excited to get into it. The prompt was a book under 300 pages. This one is 219. I did just finish it. I am giving it 4 stars. I was quite pleasantly surprised. I was a little disappointed by his last book. Not to say that it was bad, but it wasn't to the level that like I've come to know and love from him. But in this book, we follow Samantha, who is a teenage girl. She is very smart, very dedicated to her schoolwork. She is working to get recruited by Greener Pastures, which is this like secret organization of billionaires that look for the best and brightest teenagers to kind of like take them under their wings. Um, and she is desperate to get out of her home situation. She has like this weird, creepy uncle that's bound to a wheelchair and basically just mutters the word avocado to himself all day long. And her parents basically do nothing but like drink NyQuil and get high all the time. So her home life is really rough. She's never really like taken care of. Her parents go out of their way to make her life miserable. She was really good at singing, and then they stopped letting her take lessons for it. Um, there are some topics of self harm, also, obviously, substance abuse in here, and some really dark, heavy themes. But it also explores this Greener Pastures organization and how they are like auctioning off these teenagers before their prime and like abandoning them to a life of mediocrity. And I think like a lot of social things are really delved into in this book, and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Definitely not like an all-time favorite of his of mine. I think Invisible Monsters will still always hold that title, but yeah, still had a really good time. And I guess that being said, it is time for our next roll. So let's see what we get. Roll 3. A 3. 1, 2, 3. An X prompt. A book that has royalty in it. All right, so for our next roll, we rolled a 3, which landed us on another X prompt, and the prompt is royalty. So for this, I think I'm going to be listening to King of Flesh and Bone by Liv Zander. It's book 1 in the Pale Court series. I'm really excited to dive into it. I've read one other dark fantasy romance by her and quite enjoyed it, but they are very dark. So I'll check back in with you guys when I have finished this one. All right, I'm back with another little update. I just finished King of Flesh and Bone by Liv Zander, and I absolutely loved this. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It's definitely not perfect, and it's for sure not going to be for everybody. He is morally gray at its finest. Like, he doesn't have a good bone in his body except for her, and even for her, he's not that nice. Like, especially towards the beginning of the book, he like breaks her legs to keep her there. He makes her wear this bone collar so she can't get away from him. And she's just this human woman who kind of got lost and ended up in his court, and he decides he wants to keep her. But as the story progresses, you learn more about his backstory, why he is the way he is. And oh, it's just so good. I had so much fun. I'm like, I was kind of iffy going into this one. I've read one other dark romance by Liv Xander and was like kind of on the fence with it. But this one, I'm excited to continue. I'm definitely going to be reading book 2 sometime. But that being said, let's get into our next roll. Okay, roll 4. A 3. 1, 2, 3. An X prompt. A book with a 10 to 14 letter title. All right, this game is going really well so far. So our next roll gave us a 3. It got us past the second Kiss of Death space. So there's no chance of going back to the beginning of the board at this point, and we're very close to the end. This could very well be our last book. So we landed on an X prompt, and the prompt is a book with a 10 to 14 letter title. I actually surprisingly had a couple options for this on my TBR for the month, but I think what I determined I was going to read is The Jersey Devil by Hunter Shea. This is a recent purchase of mine. I just got a used copy. I didn't realize it was like mass market paperback size, but that's fine. I'm really excited to dive into this one. I don't know really anything about it other than we follow the legend of the Jersey Devil, but I know it is set in New Jersey, and I believe there's like a music festival or something that brings a bunch of young people into the woods, into its hunting ground. And yeah, that's about all I want to know. I'm going to go read it, and I will check in with you guys when I'm done, and we will do our last roll of the game. As long as I get higher than a 2, we're off the board. So this could very well be our last book. Yeah, I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, it is Sunday morning around 8 a.m. I just finished The Jersey Devil. Why does my shirt look so red on camera? It's like a purple maroonish color in real life, but on camera it's picking up very red. But whatever. I finished The Jersey Devil. I'm giving this one 3 stars. It's definitely not what I was expecting. Like, this was not a gentle lore-filled story at all. This was just like straight up slaughter by the Jersey Devil and all of its children. Like, we just kept introducing characters into this book just for them to be killed by the Jersey Devil. But we follow the Willett family, and multiple generations of them go out into the woods to hunt down the Jersey Devil. Because there's a music festival coming up and it's been attacking again, and they don't want all the children at the music festival to get attacked. They also get a cryptozoologist to come with them, and of course they do not all make it out, but it is definitely a fun, gory, good time. But overall, this plot wasn't all that interesting. Not a lot was happening besides them just going out and hunting. And the bits and pieces that we got of like dialogue between characters was just kind of boring to me. Definitely not a favorite, but I am glad I read it. I do wish I would have gotten a little bit more lore about the Jersey Devil in here, but we really didn't get much. That being said, let's jump in to our last roll. I think anything higher than a 2 gets us off the board, so let's see what happens. All right, roll 5. A 5. We are off the board. We have officially beat the TBR game. All right, so I rolled a 5, so that got us off the board officially. So we are done with only 4 books. That is much better than the 9 books it took me last month. This is crazy. It was so nice to me. So we read Dating and Dismemberment, which was the prompt, a weapon on the cover. We also read Shock Induction, which was the prompt, a book under 300 pages. I then got the prompt for Royalty, and I read King of Flesh and Bone. I actually listened to this one on Everand. I do not have a physical copy of it. And then the last prompt we got was a book with a 10 to 14 letter title, and for that I read The Jersey Devil. So yeah, 4 books in a weekend, I think is still, impressive. A lot of times I don't even read a single book in a weekend. Normally I get a lot of my reading done Monday through Friday because I can listen to audiobooks while I'm working. But then I just save my weekends for kind of like me time, and I game and I hang out with my husband and we do things with like friends or family. So yeah, normally I don't read anything on a weekend. So I'm still happy with reading 4 books, and we definitely beat this game by a lot because I still had until 4:30 p.m. today to finish, and it's still, not even 9 in the morning yet. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I absolutely love doing these videos. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to continue seeing this series, or if there's a different type of game or challenge you would like to see me do over the course of 24 to 48 hours, somewhere in there that I can do on a weekend. I'm always open to suggestions to try switching things up. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Bye!